Okay, so I got myself some Monster. I'm about to head over to my buddy's house to celebrate my brand new partnership with YouTube. Hey, we gotta celebrate something, right? Let me get a little view.
Champagne soda. It's literally like a minimal California house with his parents, okay?
Okay, so for those who are wondering, yes, we are celebrating. For those who watch my gaming channel, this is the guy who we did Vampire the Masquerade together. This is, are you going by, what name?
Adrian.
Adrian, that's not his real name. And then here are our guests. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Hello, Caroline.
Caroline.
Hello, Jocelyn.
Nicky Dix.
There you go. All right, well, check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
Now live. Here we go.
Whoa.
Okay, so I've spoken to this gentleman. I've been trying to get him on camera to do a debate. He has been on my channel and my chat under many names, but Adrian is the one he's usually using. This is...
My name's Nicky Dix.
And he will be also communicating. We have Agnostic Catholic Light. We have...
Fucking, you know, whatever happens, happens.
I'm an atheist and maybe anti-theist. We have...
Jocelyn, born again Christian.
Now, atheist?
Agnostic.
Agnostic. Not Wigan, not pagan, not...
Well, I'm Mexican, so...
Put your big ass over.
Do either of you want to say anything?
No.
You don't have to.
Boom, I just conquered.
Okay, so they got very excited when they heard I was Catholic and they want to attack.
Well, I mean, I was actually raised. I was actually raised Catholic.
Okay.
You know, I've been baptized and.
So you've been baptized twice. You've been baptized how many times?
I've been baptized once, but I've also done self-sacrifice as well. So I already know.
Adrian.
So I already know that.
Have you been baptized at all?
I've been baptized, have my communion and confirmation.
So
yeah.
Same. Born again Christian. I had both. I was dunked in the river in Mexico on my Christian baptism when I was 7.
It sounded like they trying to get rid of you.
X what?
No, nothing. I'm just like a Catholic. I've just been baptized and
so you're still Catholic.
I'm still Catholic and I've done self-sacrifice. This little girl was running out and a fucking car just came out and I grabbed her. The car just and I went like this. And they had to pick me up on the ambulance and everything and they were like, dude, you're all fucked up, you know, whatever. They're like, you should be dead. And I'm like, well, I mean, I just, you know, I thought I just kind of did the right thing, you know, whatever. And then, you know, I just, like, in Catholicism, you know, it's just like, you know, self-sacrifice. You remember seeing Constantine where he goes, he goes.
So let me ask each of you, I'm gonna make it short because I want to get into deep stuff in a second. For you, what was the best part about religion? The best part about religion. What did you like about it before you left? What do you even still like about it now? Best part.
Nothing.
Okay. What was the best part of religion for you?
So the best part for me is believing in God and a higher power. It doesn't necessarily mean that I believed in, again, Catholicism. Catholicism was put on me as a child.
You got really nice.
Baptized.
You got really nice calves, dude.
I work out a lot.
Really? Damn, dude. Like you thick, dude.
Okay, so what was the best part of religion for you?
Wait,
For
hold
me.
on. Well, if I can talk, because I think I'm probably the most religious out of everybody. I grew up in a born again, holy roller, you know, speaking in tongues, healing household, right? So it wasn't until I got older that I realized that it seemed more like a cult to me. It seemed more like a cult, and I felt like I got indoctrinated. And yes, I do still believe in a God. I think there's a higher power, but on my terms.
We'll get to that. I'm gonna try to keep it short because this thing overheats really quick. So I'm gonna cut it off every 15 minutes to give it a break.
Too much rock and roll.
Yeah, basically. What positive? What's the one positive thing you remember about religion, or you still think about religion? Don't go too deep. Just,
well, the fact that, you know, being like, you know, a Catholic, you know, you're allowed to drink, you know, and then, you know, and then the fact that, you know.
So the rules weren't too overburdened.
No, it wasn't. It's because, you know, Christians, you know, say you have to do this, you have to do that, you know, you have to like obey anybody. But you know, the Catholics are like, oh wait, you can drink, you can do this, but it's always kind of funny. The Christians have this, like, you know, you're nailed it in this hand, but the, you know, Catholicism, whatever, you're like, what's the difference? But the thing is, you know, what I got out of religion is, you know, it doesn't matter what you get out of fucking religion. just love everybody. Just be kind and just be nice to everybody. Say hello, good morning. You know, like
So
what's
courtesy, kindness.
yeah, just.
That is true.
Like what's so wrong about that? You know, like you got people like killing everybody, and you got fucking politics, you got religion, you got all this fucking bullshit. What's so hard about saying about?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's go, Joey. The one, not every worst thing. The one worst thing about religion. One, because remember we've got short time.
For me, would be in Catholicism, especially.
No, everything. Just religion, Christianity in general.
Dogma.
Dogma to you is the worst. So you're with Dan McKellen. You're dogma. I mean, truth over dogma. Whatever.
Truth over dogma. Hell yeah.
And what was the question? Like not.
What's the one worst thing about religion? But
The one thing you don't like about it.
the one worst thing
Worst
about
thing
religion.
about religion is
Remember, if you speak, you agree to be on camera.
it's fine. The one worst thing about religion is tell you how to live your life.
So too control.
Extremely too controlling. You can't do this, you can't do that. You can't listen to this music. You can't listen to these people talking. You can't, because they're indoctrinating. They're keeping you. It's wrong. And you never realize until you get older, hey man, maybe these people had a point.
What's the one worst thing? Let's keep it on the worst thing. Just
The worst thing about religion is religion. That's it. Trying to like push everything onto everybody.
Okay.
Onto everything.
So that's actually going to be my next question. And then what we'll do is,
Hold on.
after we hit the 15 mark, we'll switch it around and we'll let you guys.
Can we
Halloween
cut
15.
to the worst thing about religion? Money grabbing televangelists.
Money is the root of all evil.
I grew up with that.
Jets.
I can't say it.
I grew up
You can edit that out.
I grew
Did
up
the fucking church fucking flood again?
I grew up with Kenneth Copeland. You better give him your money so he can have his jets. Just to do planets. You know there've been those documentaries. I grew up with all of them. I grew up with give your money to TB.
And look at the rest of
Cut
us.
away and you can be cured of your cancer.
Yeah.
Don't even
Shannon Paul.
But look at
I
the rest
grew
of
up
us.
with it.
People fucking always fucking like, you know, starving, barely having enough gas money, fucking doing this and that, and yet like they pray to God
grew
the
up
same way
with-
like these fucking those cunts.
Yeah, my mom used to watch that.
Right, let's have one people talk at a time, one person talk at a time. Adrian,
Sort your life out, Mike.
what do you think religion is? What does religion mean to you? Religion.
I believe religion is a scapegoat. The
But what
people
is
can
it?
do as bad as they want.
Not what does it do, but what is it?
What is it?
religion?
Yeah, it's
So scapegoating.
yeah, scapegoating. You can be as bad as you want, but as long as you say your prayers, eat your vitamins, tied to the church, you will be forgiven.
It's always about money.
So what do you think religion is?
I think religion is about money. I think religion does not take into consideration your spiritual feelings or how you feel about a God. Religion is a cult. Religion is, hey, give your money to the man. Regardless of what, hey man, is this really what Jesus wanted? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Religion is you're giving your money to the man. And the man is getting profit off of what Jesus, you believe Jesus actually existed. He never did that. But you're like, oh, Jesus says I should have a jet. Jesus says this. No. Religion is ignorant. Religion caters to ignorant, suffering people. Religion is different than spirituality.
Testify.
What is your definition of religion? What's religion to you?
What religion is to me.
What does it mean?
So now that's a good question. Religion to me, I believe it's just an ideology.
An ideology.
Of trying to like
Look at right there.
bring down, you know, these people, like brainwashing these people, like to believing that there's like a God or an invisible man in the sky, or there was like Allah, or you know, whatever. You know, religion is, I believe they're just, honestly, I don't even know what to say, is because before even Christianity or Catholicism or whatever, there was like, you know, fucking Norse mythologism, or fucking like everything, like fucking like
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh.
fucking Egyptian and Greek and whatever, and like all these gods were before Christianity, and all of a sudden, you know, Christianity comes to be and wipes out everything. wipes out everything. Like everything wipes off all these gods,
But-
all these.
but that's Catholicism.
No. He's asking me what religion is.
Yeah,
It's
but
like-
Catholicism, you gotta pay for your
So
sin.
I'm gonna ask 3 more questions, and I'm gonna ask each of you 3 more questions, okay? The next question will be, what made you leave religion? The one major thing, not everything. Why you're not religious?
Yeah, I mean, how can you practice, how can you be told by a man, give me your sins and I will stay here
Can
all
you say that? Can you say PDF file, please?
I still gotta go here. I still make it.
You know?
Oh, you mean from the church?
But say something that, but I can't use that.
No, yeah.
I'm like, I don't.
The P files, it was for a while, they're just really rapid. I mean, we had it done, we had it
I know it's a lot.
everywhere. It was just,
Dude, I remember
He doesn't know where I live.
Yeah, like all that stuff happened.
yeah, we had that locally, and then, you know what, just send them to another parish, send them to another church, and just keep them rotating. I mean, Greg Giraldo made that joke about them meetings in the Vatican when they tried to say, all right, you can't just throw one people out for touching one kid, you know? It's like,
But it's been going on for like hundreds
A long
of
time.
years.
I mean, you are on the best comics talking about it, you know? Because we're tight.
What's the one major thing that made you leave religion? The most.
That made me leave Christianity,
Yeah.
born again. Okay, not again. I was never a Catholic. That was always no for me. Because
We were allowed to drink.
no, because some was idolatry because of the saints. Okay.
Charlie.
What made me leave born again was the
Charlie.
day that my church, my pastor's, she was a woman.
Finish with yours?
My pastor got pregnant, and she made her fess up in front of the whole congregation. I'm so sorry I got pregnant and I sinned, and you know that rubbed me the wrong way because I'm very women's rights, women's. I don't think that you should have made your fucking daughter fess up to getting pregnant in front of the whole congregation and made her look dirty. That's what made me leave religion.
Nick,
Yes, sir.
what made you leave religion? The biggest thing that made you leave?
I've actually never left
No,
religion.
never cares.
I've never actually left religion.
Do you feel like you just coasted, or you've lapsed, or anything like
No,
that?
it's because
75%.
I have, like through my 34 years of life, I've learned
You wanna
to
know what they
love
caught me on my last second?
all types of religions besides Christianity. Those fucking cunts.
Besides,
I know, but
Born again
I mean, but like I've never left religion because I never actually really had a religion. I was growing up, Catholic, whatever,
And then you.
I know if there is a heaven, I will be, welcomed in the gates of heaven. Hopefully it's Valhalla. But the thing is, but I never really had a religion, and I accept all religions. I don't Native American and worship the all-knowing. You could be fucking a Catholic, you could be anything. I never actually had. But the thing is, I never actually left religion. When you see everybody, all the shit that's going on in the world, like war, famine, and fucking all this fucking shit, where's your God?
So I'm going to ask 2 more questions. One of them I want you to answer really short, and then the last one I'm going to let you answer. So the very last question, I'm going to tell you what it is first before I ask you the second question. The very last question will be, do you have any message to give to any Christians watching? But the second to last question, keep it short, is what's your political affiliation and what politics do you think influence your religious views or non-religious views? Short. Because we only got 3 minutes.
If I had to name
but at least you don't have to go over there.
that I agree with, it'd probably be social, because I believe that in the end, as far as we've sunk,
You don't have to go over there.
socialism has always kind of risen up
all the way over there.
to bust us out of everything that Republicans have kind of ruined about this country.
But like if
Time
people told
again.
me
I'm progressive. I feel very strongly for women's rights, and I grew up very hardcore evangelical Christian, born again, holy roller household. That fucked me up. I am going to tell you straight up. That fucked me up. I feel like I was indoctrinated. I was brainwashed to feel that way. No other religion, every other religion around us was a cult.
But politically, how does that relate to where you are now?
I'm progressive because I feel I am very very about women's rights, gay rights. I'm a huge ally.
You feel Christianity, those rights are...
It does very much. Because if you are...
If God loved everybody,
If you are a born again Christian, being gay is wrong. Everything is wrong. You're gonna go to hell. I very much believe you should be who you are, and you're not going to hell.
Nikki, if you can do it in 30 seconds.
alright, so what's the question?
A la verga.
A political affiliation, where you are now, and how that...
Fuck your politics, fuck your politics, fuck all your politicians, and fuck your government.
A la verga.
You guys are just ruining everything. What's wrong about just be happy? You the motherfuckers are just ruining everything.
Okay, now, everyone's gonna get 30 seconds, but only 30 seconds. But you go as far as you want to go? Okay.
Hi, Mom!
But Mama Liz,
Any message you have for Christians watching?
No mames,
For your mind.
Is that it?
For your mind.
don't fall for the indoctrination and think for yourselves.
All right.
Start the discourse now.
Okay. No, okay, so I just asked you a bunch of questions about where you stand on religion and politics, and it would be unfair and also uninteresting for my channel if it was just one-sided. So I'm gonna go one by one. I'm gonna start off in the same. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna go here. Okay? What would you like to ask me? Remember, we're gonna go 5 minutes. Each one of you will get 5 questions each total.
You
First
gotta
question.
Okay, Nietzsche, Kierkegaard.
I love
Jesus
Kierkegaard better,
Christ.
but originally I loved Nietzsche better. I wrote my
Wait, yeah, exactly.
on Nietzsche.
The father of angst. What's the father?
The reason why
Don't
I like
Kierkegaard
Kierkegaard more
is-
now.
No, I want to know Kierkegaard.
The reason why I like Kierkegaard more now is because even though none of his ideas work,
Oh, how do they not
All of
work?
them.
Hold on. You got to go into the detail. You can't just leave it like that.
Nietzsche, while more practical and more of a class clown, has the problem of being a class clown, where he's challenging just to challenge. He's not challenging because he has a point. While Kierkegaard, even though his
Kierkegaard.
ideas are mistaken, such as women not having capabilities, such as animals not having souls, such as children not being valuable, he's playing all of these as characters, as roles. None of his beliefs are actually his beliefs. He's actually stuck inside.
The question, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Wait, hold on. Who is, because it is very
I'm more
Christian
like a
based,
wall, like
because Mama was
rock and
very into it.
Kierkegaard was
No, Kierkegaard.
Making the connection right now.
Rene Descartes.
Descartes. I learned it.
Yeah, Rene Descartes.
It is Descartes. I think therefore I am right. Are you just a floating brain, or do I really exist?
Well, the problem
Descartes
Yeah.
brought along, am I just a pawn in this play? Or
It
it's
is
not.
deep.
It is,
It is deep.
And you know, when I realized that, I was 7 years old.
So-
in the back of my parents' car,
They were
looking
my
at the sky.
head.
And you know what I said? I said, Mom, do I really exist? Or am I nothing? And my mom got so mad. You know what she said? Why are you asking that? The devil is making you question your existence.
Descartes
And I was
answers them.
7 years old. It was Descartes.
Nietzsche
It was
is-
All right,
Descartes.
so finish your question so we can move on to next.
My entire question was if
You know what I think
Kierkegaard is the father of angst
Okay.
and everything else.
Except again, he was playing a character.
He was.
Also,
I give you
so
that.
sorry.
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
a huge youngin', Carl Jung. I'm a huge. My
I give you
dreams-
that.
My dreams
But-
give me everything.
Nietzsche in himself was his own type of character.
Nietzsche
Wait,
is
what
a
are they even
huge
talking about?
fucking-
Philosophy.
Nietzsche is a huge fucking Republican
We're
rebel.
talking about
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
No,
My whole thing is, if you had to choose between angst itself as Kierkegaard being the grandfather of
Like I
everything
said, when I
angst.
was
But
when I
Nietzsche
was
is
19
very-
when I was 19
I'm
to
going
20
to
and in
separate
college,
you.
I would have picked Nietzsche. Now that I'm older and I've read a lot of Kierkegaard, I've read a lot.
I want to know why Kierkegaard? Why
He's enjoyable and he's challenging.
He is.
he
because
is challenging.
Nietzsche,
That was my entire thing. My entire thing could have been summed up in
Okay.
just that.
But Nietzsche puts you in a box, right?
Your turn. Ask the
Nietzsche puts
question.
you in a box between the poor and the riches.
Okay, alright.
But anyway, within the context of our
So,
conversation.
you know,
Sorry, we
why,
got that
why,
far,
why is
but-
it that Republicans and Democrats and like the Green Party or whatever say different fucking things, yet they're still the fucking same lying fucking bastards? I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to my friend over
But
here.
taxes
Shut
really
up,
go.
I wasn't talking to you, I was
Because the
talking.
homeless need a place to
Remember,
go.
whatever you say right now is going to live forever on the internet.
That's fine. I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to my friend over here. So why, like, so.
We need to be taxed.
See, so I So I hit a fucking nerve.
Okay.
See, so
Yeah,
like,
preach, girl.
so why do
Yes,
we're
abortion.
Democrats and whatever?
So the problem-
but yet
Women's rights
they
and the
promise,
homeless is a big nerve.
but yet they promise one thing, they say one thing, whatever. But the thing is,
They're never going to do it.
they're lying bastards.
It's not
They're
that they're
The thing
lying.
is,
It's
can you,
that
the only question I want to ask you is why are all fucking politicians or anybody in the fucking government fucking lying bastards?
because they're slaves. They are captured by their electors. So whoever is electing them, that's who they're going to serve, and it doesn't matter whether or not they agree with them. They want to be reelected.
It's your state and who you vote for. He is very
My
much
man.
the better of two evils.
No, but he also knows that there's also the fucking shadow government, etc., etc. The thing is,
Yes.
it's not the people, it's who we fucking.
So what's your question?
Again, I'm progressive. I would be damned if I am so happy that Biden dropped out because there's Kamala. Doesn't mean I'm gonna vote for her.
I'm like,
Because
You know
the
who's
Democratic Party is so fucked. The Democratic Party is full of shit. I cannot trust the Democratic Party for as far as I can throw them. But you could maybe reverse the fucking Roe.
Roe v. Wade.
Yes, you could maybe.
Push against me though. What would you like to ask me?
Fucking RBG died on that shit, and it was fucking her fucking fault.
now,
It's who am I gonna vote for? But honestly, I have to give the women the better chance. I'm not a huge
I'm
Kamala.
gonna vote for
You know what?
fucking
The
Bill Clinton.
coconuts are flying.
Very, very, very.
But to be honest though, isn't it fucking wild that as soon as Biden dropped out, isn't it fucking wild that
Asking
Kamala could be the first woman president because of her polling? Have you keeping up with the polling?
Not
it's starting to bore me.
Ridiculous.
Answer the
It's
fucking
fucking
question.
ridiculous. After we thought Trump was gonna win because he got shot, which he actually didn't. It was
He
the last
actually is
one,
probably
though.
gonna win the fucking thing because
No,
now,
he's not. You have no idea how much
20
Kamala
bucks says-
is in the race.
20 bucks
You have
says it does.
Kamala is way past Hillary at this point.
So
Vice
But-
President.
while I appreciate everything you said, there wasn't a question there, so I'm gonna move on. I'm sorry, Adrian, question.
All right,
Hey,
I'm gonna stick with
that's
the same.
fucking Father Adrian to you.
I'm gonna stick with the same line of questioning. Biden dropping out. Trump almost getting
Such a
assassinated.
godsend.
Then which of the
Mama,
lesser of two evils
Mama.
would you vote for, and
Bro,
why?
I'm gonna like stare her down.
Okay.
So you and I both know I don't like Trump. At this point, it's still Trump's race. So
Wait,
I
you don't like Trump? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, who is your?
Well, wait, I gotta.
No, I have-
For me,
Adrian, where's the fucking
I
duct
still, I don't have a good candidate to vote for.
Isn't
so
JD Vance
Because
the
The only
worst
one
piece
the
of
only one I
shit?
could vote for right now is Trump, which sucks.
It's because
we need a.
well, the thing
Is
is,
it ageism was out the window now?
no,
Sexism
it's
is the new
because
rad?
honestly, like
Come on.
I really hate to step in for him.
Okay.
I fucking hated him or whatever, but the thing is, he was a good businessman, and the thing is, America is a fucking business, fucking warfare,
Let me-
fucking.
let me- let me answer the question. Let me answer the question.
Can
So-
I ask you a question
Sure.
on this?
Yes.
Because you're religious?
Well, in a second.
What is
I'm
religion?
a second. Let me answer his first.
That's too.
So what he was saying is actually correct. Based on the economy alone, 5 years ago I was paying 99 cents for a piece of
Charlie.
bread. Now I'm paying $5.70 for a single loaf of bread.
But you understand
So-
it wasn't Biden, it was the Ukraine-Russian war, right?
That
No.
is capitalism,
It was
though, baby.
Oh, I
It
love
was fun-
capitalism,
no, it was
but I
fun.
don't
Yeah,
like
it's capitalism,
That's not
baby.
real capitalism. That's,
Yeah, it is.
That's invisible, fake inflation.
No, it's
caused by Biden.
It's not
closing
caused
off
by Biden. No, it's not.
Yes,
it
it
is
is.
capitalism.
He
It is the God's
closed
love
off
company.
trade with
It was
China.
a Ukraine war, bro.
No,
no, it has
It
nothing to do with
wasn't
Ukraine.
He
Biden.
closed off trade with China, and he's also
Yeah, he's
backtracked
starting
on a
to
lot of the
form
stuff
Okay.
that
Oh, the whole
Trump did.
tariffs on China?
I'm gonna ask
The
you
tariffs are fine.
I'm gonna ask you the
No,
big
look,
question.
watch. And I'm sorry, brother, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna
Eat
tell
your
you right now.
cookies.
This is why you don't fucking mix religion and politics and
Which
politics.
is what-
Because look at these fucking.
What is-
No offense, brother. No offense.
Answer my
And look at
question.
them. They're like,
This is the big question that everybody has on.
see, and look at them. They're fucking talking about nonsense.
No, we're not talking about nonsense.
Really? Y'all were just fucking talking about some shit about like. Y'all were
We have no idea how much abortion
Like that.
beyond
Do not touch you. Look, fuck you. Fuck your politics. Fuck your religion. Fuck your queen.
You are
fuck your
religious.
president.
is abortion.
It's not
There's
good.
only.
Because that's how it is for my mom.
It's not good
Adrian,
for me, but I am.
because I have to pay his
Okay.
rent.
Okay.
Chill
Look
out.
at this.
I'll go right now.
I want to reclaim my time. reclaim my time?
But
5
it is
minutes,
a
I
big
get.
issue. Abortion is a
All right.
huge
We have
issue.
2 minutes, people.
I'm gonna reclaim my
We've
time.
only got
You know
one
what?
question to ask.
They're
you.
gonna say all this and they're gonna say all that. You know
Hold
what?
on, hold on.
Look,
Yeah, but
I got
nobody-
one.
both of you
I
shut
want
up.
one
Look,
thing.
if you are a woman
I'm
in the
trying to ask
United
him about
States,
it,
you
'cause
have
that's
the
the big
right
issue.
to your body. Do whatever you want with your body. If you want to get rid of the kid, fuck it. Delete his fetus. I
You
do
have
not
no
care.
idea how
But
much
you know
it
what?
plays
You have
into
the rights
religion.
as a woman, as an
2
American. But the
minutes.
thing
Whoever
is,
stops is
remember,
gonna be talking at the end.
remember.
It's gonna start beeping. You're running out of time.
remember.
Wait, is that an issue for you?
Anyway,
Be
so
honest, it's fine. I'm not gonna judge
who'd
you.
win in a fight? Vader versus Obi-Wan.
Sit
Go.
down.
Go.
Well,
Go.
Vader won. We already saw that.
Is
No,
it?
I'm asking you, who would
And
win in
I
a
am-
fight? Vader or Obi-Wan?
Stop.
No, that's my question.
Depends on which Vader.
You come to kill
Okay.
Obi-Wan.
Old Vader would lose compared to the new Obi-Wan, but the old Obi-Wan is new Vader.
My man. All right, my question ends.
No, my
No,
question
no,
is-
no.
We'll do one-on-one. Cause, okay.
Don't disparage my woman question.
So what's your last question?
Okay, you want to talk about economics? You want to talk about everything else? And you want to talk about inflation?
Oh, what?
Trump originally said that Obama should be held responsible for the 3 deaths during the pandemic that he stopped. Trump lost over 1,000 people a day. Should he be held responsible for those 1,000
Trump
people?
contributed to Obama's fucking cancer.
Neither. No.
It was the same.
But that was by
fucking
Trump's own
same.
words. He should be charged and held responsible for 3
Trump
deaths.
just was like, hey, give me those, give me those, give me those.
Here.
Exactly.
Exactly. You remember when Trump used to be a big fucking lib, and Trump was pro-abortion? Yeah,
He's still
but then he
pro-abortion.
got, no, Trump
Then why
only
did
says
he get
what he
away?
means.
Trump is. He actually wants the.
No, he doesn't. He just said he
No,
wants
he
to get rid of it
doesn't.
He's
federally, and he put
Did
JD
you
Vance who
listen
wants to get
to
rid of
his
it.
He did it to the state.
No, he
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
Did you listen to his last speech? He was like, "Oh, everybody wants fucking no." Wait.
Damn it, we ran out of time.
Trump literally said, "Hey, the Democrats want to." I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Like I just said, I was Catholic.
Oh, that's actually pretty
What are you going to
good.
use for this?
Here.
Rosemoon's fine. I don't need to make for me.
3, 2, 1. Hey, this is Ramon. This is Alpha. I'm here with Rose Moon. You might have seen us talking a little while ago with some guests. We thought we want to do a little one-on-one talking about religion directly. I'm going to ask her some questions and I'm going to let her push back against it. We're going to try to keep it as short as possible because we do want to do this before guests show up and things start getting loud again, okay? So, Rose, thank you for doing this. So, you have a problem with religion, correct?
Yeah, I do have a little problem. I was raised in it, and I do feel some pushback on it because I feel the older I get, I feel more of it instead of being a religion, a belief. I feel more indoctrinated, and I feel a little bit forced into it.
So you've said indoctrination before, but I also noticed you also hit on 2 other issues, which was repression and was LGBTQ issues.
Right.
So how do you feel, like for instance, you're sitting right next to a religious person. Do you feel like I'm biased or like I'm hateful toward you for having different beliefs or anything like that?
I don't, because again, I grew up in that religious belief. I grew up in born again Christian, extremely
Do you
hardcore.
consider Catholics Christians?
Technically, historically, yes, there are Christians, but the way I grew up, I was taught that it was idolatry. So, yeah, you know, it's kind of a little cultish to me. But I don't push back on it that hard because the older I've got, the more I've grown, I've learned to respect and understand everybody's religious point of view, even though I have my own.
Do you think there's a higher power or a higher being or anything like that?
I very much do. That's the way I grew up. I was very much taught religion over science. Unfortunately, you know, I grew up, I went to school, and I very much learned science, and I always thought, why can't they both get along?
Do you have a degree?
I do have a degree actually in anthropology, which very much pushed those boundaries between religion and evolution, and you
Was
know,
that hard for you when you went to college and you made that split from religion?
it was for a while because I felt the more I learned scientifically, historically about anthropology, you know, you get into evolution and all that, I felt a little bit that I was betraying my roots.
Was there any trouble between you and your family because of that?
For a bit, yeah. Me and my mom was a pastor. She's a preacher. She's an evangelical. She has her degree as evangelist in church. And
So I want to ask about something else first, but since you brought that up, how does she handle passages like a woman shouldn't teach and that kind of stuff?
well, that's a good question, because my mom is very, very into, for lack of a better term, Old Testament, except when it comes to women. Women can preach. Women can be
So
God.
picking, or does she have a way to reconcile that?
In my opinion, don't ask her, but in my opinion, I feel like she does kind of cherry pick. Oh, well, I'm going to be very Old Testament, except for the fact that we're going to get New Testament and women can be messengers and women can preach the Word of God. Okay, so are you going to do that? Are you going to be, for lack of, which my mom would not appreciate, are you going to be a bad bitch in that? And are you going to, just as an example, I grew up, our house was literally in front of a Jehovah's Witness church. They used to come and try and school my mom, and my mom always, for lack of a better term, my mom schooled them. My mom left them speechless. Well, we're gonna come back, you know. My mom was my mom can read Greek, Hebrew. My mom was very schooled in the Bible, which I learned, and I'm very grateful for that. But for me, it's more history, more than fact, than it is for my mom.
Do you think that if you grew up in a more Catholic sense, and I mean Catholic in the ordinary mass, I don't mean like radical traditionalists, where you learn things like evolution and you learn things like science with your religion, that you would have had as strong of a break from religion? Or do you think that would have been easier for you to understand the Bible as more spiritual while science and everything else was still true?
So again, my upbringing was not Catholic. When I was a baby, my mom was still going through her Catholic phase, so I was baptized Catholic, you sprinkle water. If you're talking about born again Christian, no, you gotta get dunked in the water, but I had a little sprinkling and then I was subject to both. But no, I don't think the way I grew up in that Christianity, Catholicism is very weak. That's not spiritual, that's not, no. Like there's no, I grew up speaking in tongues, holy roller, I am going to heal you.
What is your opinion about being an evangelical and being charismatic? What do you think about that?
Oh, extremely charismatic. That's how I grew up. Because I grew up with it, I dealt with it for a long time. I believed in it, and being charismatic is very spiritual. You have all these things that people will call gifts, from God, things like that, which I very much to this day believe in. I grew up with them, they run in my family, but to this day, I don't actually know, is it actually God? Is it a bigger consciousness around people? There's that story about the laughing village and everybody gets that addicted to the laughing or whatever. I kind of start to think that stuff's happening, and maybe there's something else. Being that way, I was very much told, you can't get into witchcraft, you can't get into this and that. And
did you try witchcraft though?
Yes, I did. And actually, I felt very much connected to the same spirituality as religion. I felt maybe it's just one consciousness to another, maybe it's the same consciousness, and you have the same. I do believe in a higher power, I believe in a higher being, but I also think that if that's the case, that higher being granted you the same power to, the Bible says, to each their own. If there's more than one gathered in my name, speaking something into consciousness, into being, it will happen. And Wiccanism, things like that, it's kind of the same thing. I think it's more of a conscious, more of how many people are in sync with you to have this, or to make something happen. I think it's more of a spiritual power, whether you believe in a God that is the God, the religious God, or the God of the earth. I think it has to do more with people's consciousness.
So my channel will be interested in knowing if you've read the whole Bible all the way through.
I'm pretty much, yeah. You can ask me any story and I'll tell you it in my own words, which a lot of people like to hear. But
Do you think that the Bible, reading it, made you less religious or more religious?
when I was younger, because I read it when I was very young, back and forth, English and Spanish, because I'm Hispanic, and actually reading the Bible in Spanish taught me a lot. It taught me how to read and write in Spanish. Try reading and writing the King James in Spanish. Yeah, that really did. But as I got older, I feel more it's more a part of history than it is spiritual. I think there's enough evidence to show that a man called Jesus Christ really lived.
So right now, one of the hot topics on the religious side of YouTube, both secular and believing, is the questions of whether or not the Old Testament happened. Do you think the Old Testament has any truth to history, or do you think it doesn't relate to history at all? Like actual history, not less perceived.
I think that there is some truth to it. I just think that when it comes to the Old Testament, you have to take it with a grain of salt. The Old Testament is very brutal. I mean, let's be real. If we were following the Old Testament, again, I'm Hispanic, you shouldn't pierce your baby's ears and we shouldn't have braids because that was prostitute stuff. But I feel like when it comes to the Old Testament, Christians really pick and choose, you know.
So let me ask this. So if you had and I said the word Catholic earlier, but let's just say a more classically theological view of the Bible, which there's a minimum of 5 ways to interpret it. It's not just literal.
Yeah.
But let's just say. So do you think if you grew up with that type of attitude toward the Bible, you would have distanced yourself from it, or do you think you would have stayed with it? If it didn't have to be literal.
Thing is that the way I grew up was halfway literal, half interpretation. So I just kind of felt I got kind of pushed into, well, this is the interpretation. How do you know? You know, well, this is an interpretation that the TV evangelist gives us. Well, I mean, I could read it one way, you could read it another. I just kind of feel that it was pushed on me in whatever that interpretation, especially because we're going to interpret, you know, the Old Testament versus the New. Well, the Old Testament is really brutal. It's really brutal. Versus the New Testament is kind of like a little bit rainbows and unicorns, you know.
So if you're going to ask my audience, or not just my audience, but any Christian who's going to be watching this in the future, what would you like to ask them? You can ask up to 3 questions, but what's on your heart that you'd like to ask a Christian?
I guess one would be question what you're reading. Question what you're reading and question the interpretation. Question what older people or people that, you know, supposedly have more knowledge than you are giving you that interpretation. Question it and maybe interpret it for yourself. I don't really think that I understand that God existed and he gave so many people interpretations. Well, you know, what do you think he would interpret it as?
Let me ask you one last question. Do you think God exists?
I do, and the reason I do is because I'm a spiritual person.
But spiritual, not religious, which you still consider, when we started off, you were saying you were an atheist. Would you consider yourself an atheist on an everyday basis, or in what way?
No, I'm not an atheist. I do believe that there's a God. I believe there's a higher power. I also very much believe in extraterrestrials. Not very much aliens. That's a different story. I think they're interdimensional. I think there's a lot of capability in believing there's a God and interdimensionality. I think kind of that's where hell and heaven exist, maybe.
Now, I don't know if this last question is going to be on the edit I finally do, but let's have a fun question to close out. You said you were a fan of Hassan. My videos every once in a while go viral. Not most. Some of them only get 40 views. Some of them get 60,000 views. It's a crapshoot. If a chance that this one goes viral, what would you like to say to Hassan?
Hassan, you've changed my views for the better. As a 40-year-old woman, I started watching you when maybe when I was like 37, 38. You did very much change my views. I finally understood, again, sorry not to step on anybody's toes, but I understood the irrationality of conservatives and the way I grew up and the evils of it. And Hassan has, if not anything, has opened up my eyes to be more compassionate and let's tax the shit out of everybody for the homeless, for the people who are suffering. You know, it very much did open my eyes that way. It gave me more of a, hey, I'm gonna donate to so-and-so, I'm gonna, you know, it changed my life. And people have rights. people are not money. People are not dollar signs. I live on the border.
So that's the last question. This next part we might put in the front is try to make it less than a minute. Could you tell the audience who you are and what you believe? Try to keep it to a minute.
My name is Jocelyn Rose. I'm a Hispanic woman from Deep South Texas, and I very much believe in women's rights. I'm very much an ally for the LGBTQ community for reasons, people don't have to know about. But I think I love people, and I think people have a right to live, and I think people have a right to live comfortably. Regardless of what happens, I think people have a right to live in this country. And I think women have rights, and I love people. I wish things could be better.
Jocelyn, thank you for doing this. I look forward to doing this again with you sometime.
Thanks for